going on, guys? This is Elias with the No Sabo podcast, and we're cozy today.
Yeah, it's warm.
You're sitting close to me. I haven't sat this close to you before. I feel nervous. Oh, you were talking about being warm?
Yeah.
He meant cozy as you guys were like.
Yeah,
I
close.
missed the ball on that one.
Our race is a little late today. We have an awesome special guest today. I'll let everybody else introduce themselves.
What's up, guys? I'm John. And then I'll switch to Yvette. Hi, I'm Yvette.
Oh, you're just going to do her introduction?
Right. No, she usually goes first, but we've been trying to make this happen for a while. And but today we have Roddy with Roddy TV here.
Simone,
we don't have a applause button right now, but
how are you? We which one of those? It's the one that says it's the one that says stupid bitch or something.
No.
He hit the button that says stupid bitch, huh?
I don't know what did he hit. All right, talk again.
Le picó al anaranjado.
What is this one? Talk on this one. Oh, they're just voice effects. Okay. We don't have applause. Usually there's an applause button burned into it. But Rod, thank you so much for coming today.
Kind of bummed out that there's no applause because that's what I do things for is for applause.
I got you.
We'll add it a post.
All right.
Just don't ask me to add something like at minute 38, 39 because it's not going to happen.
I either get paid in applause or in alcohol.
And balls.
You guys are delivering here. This is how you treat your guests. You have a big old buzzball waiting for him as soon as you walk in.
Yeah.
It may or may not be for the 50th episode buzzball, but
it's a fermented
you're on episode
buzzball.
like 80 now,
it's like wine. Like the longer it sits, the better it
está
gets.
más bueno.
Is it?
This is the best buzzball I've ever had porque está fermentado ya.
Yeah. It's like extra fermented. So.
But yeah, Rod. You're our number one supporter, or number two, or top three for sure.
Yeah, man.
I have a lot of time. I just listen to podcasts all day at work.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is that what you... Okay, cool. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, tell us a little bit about your podcast, man.
Yeah.
It's fun.
My podcast, Roddy TV, that actually started as... Because we used to do a podcast in Spanish, Alta Red. But that started dying off. But even before it died off, I started Roddy Radio as... it was just audio, and it was just kind of personal, just to get some conversations with some friends, reconnect with a lot of people. But that just started growing and growing, and it turned into a video podcast. Which I hate, but it's like we do it anyway. I'm like, because I come in here, I'm like, man, I should have exfoliated because you guys use like real cameras. I use like fucking toy cameras. But it's a lot of fun, It's just we've created a rotating cast of individuals that and we like to bring in guests. We've had Iveris on and stuff. So
I've known Rod for a while now.
I remember you when you were a little kid when you used to hang out with Miguel.
Oh yeah, see, this
when he
is
was
like
skinny.
When I was skinny.
Ya cuando te volví a encontrar ya de grande when you were like hanging out with like Nelderman and them when I was playing with Adictos like 6 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm like, ese güey se me hace reconocido, but I couldn't tell because you were in skinny anymore.
Yeah, I was a twig.
You didn't have like glasses or acne or anything. You had a fucking glow up.
Yeah, a little. Thank you. And then I became a
glow up and a blow up.
There you go.
Yeah, I've known Rod Rod's pulling out since like middle school.
Yeah,
that's how long. That's
probably back in like 2012ish.
Yeah, so you're talking about.
I was young myself too.
Right.
Yeah. How old are you, man?
I'm about to turn 39.
39. Oh wow.
You just turned 30. You just turned 40, right?
I just hit the big 40.
Just a couple months.
Yeah, happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is a birthday / special guest podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, my 30s sucked, if I'm being honest with you.
Really?
They were hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So?
Yeah, they were hard.
Why is that?
A lot of people died in my 30s, so it was a lot of grieving and just learning how to live. Early on, it was without my dad, and then my sister, then my mom, but there's just a lot of that. So you're trying to like navigate through everything else, which it was cool to like have my kids and stuff grow up, but it was hard for me at least.
Were your 20s fun?
Yeah. I think early 20s, I was just an idiot. I think I was an idiot for like the majority of my life. And then as I got older, I think I was 20-something when I had my first kid. So then it started to kind of mellow down.
Wait, how old were you?
I want to say 28, 29.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was 20. I was just about to turn 29 when my first daughter was born.
Yeah.
And I was really disappointed in myself because I always said I was going to wait till I was 30.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I missed it by a year.
By a year, that's crazy because you don't really hear I'm not gonna say back then, but like having kids that like at 30s,
Especially here.
Yeah.
Here in Idaho, everybody is like, you're expected to already have a family by the time you're 25. And it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
If you're Mexican, you get pregnant in high school. If you're Mormon, you got 4 kids by the time you're 21.
Yeah.
And if you're Mexican and a Mormon, y'all got too many kids by the time you're 25.
Pero tiene unas vans bien chingonas, man.
Yeah.
They got some nice ass
Yeah.
fucking vans.
Shout out to minivans. I do gotta say, I drive a minivan.
I'm glad that that's why it came. Okay.
Yeah.
Pero sí, entrando aquí, because I had, like I said, we had Eva Reyes on our podcast, and
Yeah.
we brought her on because she's always getting bullied by a couple of right-wing freaks on this show.
Yeah, John.
And so, and you know, we're very liberal on my show. It's the gayest
Yeah.
show in Idaho. And
You think it's the gayest one?
I think so.
Yeah.
Just find me a gayer one.
Got a Wednesday, you know? Just playing, y'all. Just playing.
Yeah.
Just because there are a bunch of gay dudes on it doesn't mean it's gayer than us.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point.
I've always liked that. So like your podcast has always been even when it was like Alta Red, it was always like I don't want to label it, but like more like the black sheep in the industry. You know what I mean? Saying like it's always been different. Like it's not followed like a format. It's been like guest wise and like topic wise. It's always been like different.
Sometimes we break the rules on purpose. Like everybody in podcasting, you know, and you saw it firsthand when you went on and you were telling me how to run the levels, and so I just turned everything way up. That episode sounds like crap. People don't, say don't eat while you're on podcast. We take in llevamos chicharrones and we're sitting there crunching while we're talking and stuff. It's like we try to be unconventional like that.
Right.
But at the same time, that's why I was going with the Eva Reyes thing. Like she was like, hey, let's get this person that's a little bit more like-minded than us.
Mm-hmm.
But I think politically, which is why I started listening to you guys in the first place last year when the elections, that's when everything was getting really political, was because you guys were actually talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is fucking scared about it. I didn't care that I didn't agree with most of the things you guys said.
Yeah.
The fact that you were talking about it and putting it out there, that made the difference for me. Because everybody else, whether I agree with them or not, they're like, oh, we can't talk. Or you say it and they cut it out of their show. I've been on other people's show. I get cut out for saying something.
Yeah.
And I walk in here today and I didn't see a couple of right-wing freaks. I didn't see a MAGA over there. I saw a fellow orphan, you know. We're both 40-year-old orphans.
Yeah.
So, I think that's what we need to do as community and as a country is find that common ground. Like, we might not agree on most things, but we're a lot alike.
Yeah.
We're orphans.
Yeah. I think
Why
one
are
of
you
the-
laughing at us being orphans?
Bro, because you always say,
why is that funny, bro? Why you?
the one thing that Rod always says some things like he knows he's saying out of pocket stuff and dude, that's fucked up.
It's
I
true,
mean, it's
though.
fucked up because it applies to him too, right? But like it's just like that's exactly what you're talking about, right? Some people won't say that.
Would you go in an orphanage and laugh at children?
No.
Why are you
So why are you
laughing at
laughing at
40-year-old?
these orphans?
Okay,
orphans? Come on
you guys
now.
are not gonna turn this on me.
Damn, bro. Damn.
Damn. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you. Like, this is definitely out of our comfort, like my comfort zone, right? Because like even talking to like, let's talk about like the Cada Wednesday group. Like those guys don't necessarily agree on the opinions that I have, right? And we've had not discussions to talk about it, but I think it's like one of those things that like, I'm not there to change their minds when we have discussions or just talk about it.
Yeah.
They'll bring up a topic and we'll just talk about it. And most of the times they don't like my opinion, but it's not like they're going to like put me down for it, right? You know, they might talk shit and give me shit, but like, it's not the end of the world. Cause at the end of the day, we're all friends, right? We grew up together and we're still friends, but the same thing with me. I'm like, I'm not going to, if they tell me something, I'm not going to be like, bro, you're wrong. You know, that's your opinion. And I think that's like, what's the great thing about this is that every time we walk out of here, even though sometimes it gets a little intense with Ivariz, like that's it. Like we don't take hard feelings, and nor is that the goal. And we've said that before to talk about it. And it was good to see her go on your podcast, and like you said, you guys are more like minded, and even we are more like minded, but we still don't agree on a lot of things.
Yeah, I think I've noticed that too. Kind of, there's a little bit more of a split there too.
Yeah. You're very religious.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't know where I stand there.
Yeah.
I'm open to different things, but I think the cool thing, at least for me, and I think it showed in the election, is Hispanics, Latinos, Mexicanos, whatever it is, what we are, brown people, we're so different. Like we're not, as a group, you're never gonna like, you know, we'll agree on some things, you know, but I think the cool thing is like there's a lot of diversity within all of us, which I think is a positive thing for our culture, you know.
Yeah. John, when his parents was born, when he was born, not when your parents were born, when you were born, your parents saw that you were white, and they're like, "¿Cuál Juan, güey? Este se llama John."
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
so that's my line, right? Everywhere I go, like, especially right now, we went to Guatemala. They're like, "Oh, what's your name?" And I'm like, if you tell them Jonathan, like, they're gonna be like, "Oh," I'm like, "Me llamo John. Me dieron nombre de gabacho." Like, that's always been my line.
Yeah.
Like, because like the last name's Garcia. Like that fucks me up.
When I first met you, I thought yo pensé que te llamas Juan y que el mamón te ponías John. I'm like, no, este se llama John, de verdad.
No, yeah, like it's one of those things that like you see it a lot, right? You have a Braxton Gonzalez, you know, and I get it, you know, like I couldn't pick my name. That's
Yeah,
what,
when we pick names for our kids, is we try to make sure it was algo que no fuera difícil de decir en la escuela. They're gonna butcher it, but something that doesn't like clash with the last name either. That doesn't sound stupid, like Brittany or some shit.
Yeah. What's your last name, Ron?
Ramirez.
Brittany Ramirez. Yeah, you see that a lot, man.
Yeah,
you see
yeah,
like
you
names
know.
that are like really like pronounced. Yeah, that was the same thing with
Pero
me.
tampoco le queríamos poner Hortensia.
I want to apologize
Something
to
in
Brittany
between.
Ramirez, one of our listeners, and Hortensia Ramirez too.
Hortensia
Sorry,
Ramirez.
y'all.
They're all commenting. You fuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's not their fault though. Like,
Yeah, it's their
I don't
parents'
like
fault.
my name.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like my name because when I was little, I couldn't really say my R's that good. I still can't. And people think it's like a no sabo thing, but it's
Yeah.
not at all. It's like a speech impediment. And y me pusieron Rodrigo Ramírez, like
Double R's.
puros R's donde quieras.
Oh
Like,
no.
Yeah,
parece que le hicieron de adrede.
they're like let's fuck with him.
So how do you defend that? Like you're like, no, I'm not no sabo. I'm dumb.
It just sucks.
you
It
know,
just sucks
or-
porque uno está hablando español perfectamente y estás hablando y de repente se te sale de que no puedes decir bien tus R's.
Yeah, and you're
Una palabrita que digas medio mamona and they're like, pinche vato.
dude. I think it's hard being like a first generation, at least in my opinion, because like when you go to Mexico, bro, you're not Mexican. Like as much as you want to speak it in your Spanish, like my Spanish is not that good, and you get flagged. Like people are like, "Oh, he's from over there," because you just as good as Spanish you can, you pick up more of an English accent. And in here, like fuck, I still struggle to speak in English sometimes. Like some of the words I say, and so like you don't fit in here. So it's really hard being like bilingual at times because you'll never be nor there nor here, and it's definitely
Trevian
sad.
from like my parents were from. Did you guys' parents finish school? So like my parents were straight up from El Rancho, so they didn't even finish school. So like I feel like my Spanish is like, you know, the people that like the white people that live in trailer parks in Alabama.
Oh, gotcha. Little
Like how their English is like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, so I think, you know, I learned Español del Rancho, I guess is what you'd call it. But then, yeah, I was never really.
We always watched a lot of TV de Mexico, Televisa, TV Azteca. Back in the big satellite dish days, you
Yep.
could pick those channels up for free.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I got a lot of the... Porque en la casa, obviamente, hablamos español 100%.
Yeah.
Pero también es un español más relajado, más
Yeah.
de raza. But then, like, with TV, you learn different words that people don't really say. You learn a more professional Spanish, I guess.
right.
Even-
That's what we're trying to do with my baby. Like only speak to her in Spanish, just because like I know even if you try to like teach her Spanish, she's gonna
Yeah.
lose it. But at least like the understanding, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like when you see more like I mentioned again, like a first generation, their kids don't speak Spanish anymore just because they only speak English.
Yeah.
And so now they have difficulties trying to speak with grandma, grandpa.
Es lo bueno, sí. Así estoy yo. La más grande saben bien, todavía habla poquito más español.
Yeah.
La más chiquita nos entiende todo, but she doesn't speak it. She hangs out with my older daughter. She hangs out with older cousins. So aunque apenas tiene 4 años, she's only talking
English.
Pero y lo que le digo, because her grandma, que no sabe nada de inglés, is the one that watches her. I'm like, ¿y cómo le haces cuando estás con la mami, con la vivía? Le pides soup? Like, I don't fucking think you do. Like, ahí así le tienes que hablar en español. Háblame en español también.
Yeah.
Fuck.
At least me growing up, I mean, I grew up in Ryrie. Like, there was 2 Mexicans and the rest was all white hillbillies. Like, we weren't so in school. Like, never spoke Spanish. Like me and Miguel, like I remember we didn't really speak Spanish, but outside of school we spoke Spanish all the time, which was crazy. And I think it's more like it was like I don't know, vergüenza, you know, like you were like a little.
There's definitely strength in numbers. Yo fui a la escuela in Roberts Elementary, and it's funny because recently we for Halloween we went to the Halloween carnival there. I took my kids, and I noticed every single classroom has Spanish learning stuff on the walls.
Yeah.
And I asked my cousin who I was with about it. She lives there, and she's like, "Oh yeah." So she's like, "They do the Spanish, however much percent now."
Really?
Learning. I was like, "That's fucking insane." I was like, "Remember when we were in school here? Y si hablábamos en español, we'd get in trouble. They'd fucking get on us about it."
Damn.
And I'm like, and my parents told me not to fucking mind them. That they didn't care if I got in trouble over that, just to do whatever we wanted as far as language goes.
Yeah.
Like, and now they're teaching it. Like, we've really come a long way on that.
Yeah.
Because well, ahí en Roberts era al revés, un chingo de mexicanos.
Yeah.
And so we were always playing together and stuff. Lo que eso sí, back in the day, like, we were immediately labeled as a gang.
Yeah.
You know, you'd see a bunch of kids walking down the street, and the cops were like, "Oh, there's gang activity." We're walking to the fucking library, man. What the fuck? We're gonna go on the.
We're going to vandalize the books.
No, we were. The internet was a novelty back then, so it's like, well, let's go look at the lowriders and
Yeah.
bikini girls.
So the Playboy magazine in the back.
Yep.
No, yeah, definitely. What would you say, like political views, especially like at least my parents were more political. Like they just followed what they saw. Like how did that come about? Like what was a point in your life when you started sparking into political views?
Así era mi papá, como tus papás. He would just follow. He would just vote. He was a big voter, but he would always just kind of vote with the crowd.
Yeah.
And my mom, and I will say even my dad, in certain ways, like the Spanish speaking stuff, they always wanted us to think for ourselves. And so I've never been too political, honestly. It's just been this recent. The last 10 years have been so divisive.
Yeah.
That you eventually have to start talking about these things.
Right.
But for the most part, I mean, I'm an anarchist, so it's like I don't really care. Like I don't like the Democrats and I don't like the Republicans.
Right.
I've never liked the president. I've never liked the president since I've been alive.
Really?
There's been admirable traits in presidents throughout history. I like some of the stuff FDR that they taught us about FDR, but if you dive deep, he was a scumbag. You know, I like some of the stuff Obama did, obviously, but I don't like him. I'm still in debt because of his ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like every president has been a piece of shit to me. But the way it is now, it's not about left and right. To me, right now, it's about everything this guy does is evil, and everything, you know, like I'd rather go back to the lesser evil that we had before. But I mean, ideally, anarchist, no government.
Yeah.
And I still stand by that. I mean, I saw a funny meme once about the dead Kennedys. It says when you're 15, you listen to the dead Kennedys for the first time and you think, yeah, the dead Kennedys are right, anarchy, fuck the government, all this. Like in your 20s, you kind of start thinking, well, it's good music, but, you know, maybe they need to ease up on the anarchy shit. Like, but when you're in your 30s, you kind of start thinking, okay, maybe they were right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the trajectory I had, where in my 20s, I was maybe more like, yeah, you know what, like you have to follow the rules and stuff. And that's where I'm at right now in my life, is like I do the bare minimum. I have $5 right now until Friday because I'm not doing for money. I don't give a fuck about money. I just, the only reason I have a job is because I have kids and I have bills.
Yeah.
And as long as those two things are paid, you know, I'm not, there's no obsession. There's no wanting to make a better life for myself. I'm like, life is going to be good if you want to make it good, whether you have stuff or not, whether you have money or not. It's easier with a better car. I'm car shopping right now because I need a car. But that's the thing. There's no public transport in the city. There's no public transport where I live. Like, we need cars here in this part of the country.
Yeah.
Housing, con que tenga donde quedarme dormido, que no me caiga la nieve, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm not at all. ¿Cuál es la palabra esa?
Materialistic?
Materialistic is too, but like when you're really, cuando anhelas algo, when you want to do something more with your life.
Ambitious?
Ambition. Yeah, I really have no ambition financially. It's like my ambitions are happiness.
But what do you think sparks that, right? Because that kind of falls into what I'm telling you, that like it's a different, your podcast was this different perspective than everybody else. That thinking is not very common, right? You hear everybody's like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Like what sparks that? Because you're right. What you're saying is, I guess I did ignore your question. How you said what sparks that? I guess upbringing with my mom mostly. My mom was a lot like that too. She was a very free thinker. She was very progressive for her time. I remember her telling us stories
from when she was a kid, and she told her sister that she loved them, and they all laughed at her. You know, she had 17 siblings, and so she always taught us that. She's like, siempre díganse que se quieren. It's not funny. You don't have to sit there and say it all the time, but and that's the way my brothers are. Like we all know we love each other. We can say it and not dwell on it. Music wise, she was, you know, I grew up with a lot of kids que they would start, if they were listening to English music, their parents, you know, mexicanos, pues, sus papás le decían, like, quita eso, like, fucking listen to, oye algo en español.
Yeah.
My parents weren't like that. My parents got here when they were 1979, 1980, por ahí. 1980 it had to be. In Montana. Montana in the 80s, nobody spoke Spanish. There was no Spanish radio. They had to learn English porque no había quien les traduciera.
Yeah.
And they had the radio on. They liked a lot of the country stuff. My mom liked a lot of the rock stuff and the country stuff. So it's like they never stifled us from listening to, from what we were listening to, from what we were watching on TV, nothing.
Yeah.
And so that's why we delve so much. Me and all my brothers are like that. The free thinking stuff was just my mom, especially at the end, just watching her just not give a fuck about what anybody had to say.
Yeah.
And just trying to do for us and for her. It's like, that's definitely what I strive to be right now.
Gotcha.
And I think that's important because I think you found the trick to life. It's sometimes we overcomplicate it, but it's about what makes us happy. You know, what makes, whether it's a lot of money or not a lot of money, or as long as you're not a slave to society and what you're supposed to have or what your neighbor has, so you got to have that. And if you can completely pull away from that where you're isolated, it's like you already won, because you got people that are out there busting their ass trying to make a lot of money so they can keep up with the Joneses or the Johns, Garcias. But they're not happy.
That's right.
And it's just like, and you start to see people go, you know, that you love, and you're just like, fuck, like there's more to life than just slaving away or wasting your time to impress others.
Exactly.
You know,
Porque no tiene nada de malo tener cosas también. Like I said, I have my SUV broke down, my old Trailblazer broke down, and it was right after my mom passed. So I've been driving her little car around ever since then. Ni le he cambiado el nombre ni nada. I'm just paying the insurance on it and hoping for the best. But I'm like, right now, la ambición se podría decir que tengo es to get another SUV, but not because, I want to look cool. It's like, it's just more comfortable. Like when I go with my kids, when we go to the lake in the summer and we can pack all this shit in the back, and like it's more of a utility thing than an ambition thing. It's not because somebody else has it, it's because I know what good it's going to serve me. So having things, I'm not like so anti-materialistic, like you shouldn't have anything. You just shouldn't covet, I guess, like what you were saying.
Yeah,
I think that it reflects, just like you mentioning, that reflects a lot on like everything else you do. It makes sense, if that makes sense. Because like, man, like even with the podcast DVDs, like the people you have on rotation, like their stories are all way different.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you would label yourself like liberal, because I don't think that's it. But your opinions are, you think out of the box, you know. And like you said, maybe we don't clash on all the opinions, but I think we all think a little bit the same in that aspect, that like, you know what, you mentioned the past few presidents, like and I love how you said, for me, like that it didn't work for and so like I think the same thing, like even like on some of my views, like not everything fits in the box, you know. And I think that's what that's
why I don't like to like liberals, like we all say now we're liberal because we like this, we're liberal because we support that. But if you think about it, raza mexicanos, Mexicans are like some of the most conservative people you're going to find. The only people that are more conservative than Mexicans are the Asians. Pero when suddenly conservatism includes racism, and it includes singling people out for the color of their skin, and it includes deportations based on that, instead of criminal records, instead of what you're acting on, then that's when it's like, okay, now I got to take a side. So I'm taking the liberal side. Doesn't mean I'm a liberal.
Right.
I just don't want to be on the side that's kicking out la raza.
In that perspective,
No, la raza for being prietos, you know. Like I remember growing up, you know, raza would always, porque la raza racista a madres también. And you'd be kicking it with some older folks, and they'd be like, no, pero tú ya eres gabacho porque naciste aquí. And you'd be like, no, güey, ¿qué gabacho de qué? No, pero tú naciste aquí, eres ciudadano. Like, sí, güey. No, pero tú eres gabacho. Okay, pues dile a los gabachos because they treat me the same as they treat you. They treat me the same as they treat any other prieto. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Where do you think we went wrong with that? Like with the whole like my feed is just like full, and especially the news right now, it's just full of like ICE detentions and like the worst, right? Because that's what the media is going to cover, the worst. Where do you think we went wrong with that? Where do you think is the point? And because this has been happening for years, right?
Yeah.
Racism has always been around, but what do you think is a? Do you think the media helps it now to be more normal? Like,
I think I mean, the root base is the president right now. We've never, I guarantee you Bill Clinton is a white supremacist. I guarantee
Bill
you
Clinton?
George Bush is a white supremacist. But they didn't use that to stand on.
right?
They didn't use that as their presidency. They're not more or less racist than Trump, but Trump used that to rile up the racists. Like that's her first term. That's when I started noticing. I know there's racists all around here. I have a big theory of how most white people around here are white supremacists, even the ones that are nice to us. Because a racist and a white supremacist, those are two different things. You can be a white supremacist without being a racist, without being a piece of shit. They can treat you good. They can be your friend. But deep down inside, they think they're better than you. That's a white supremacist. A racist, straight up, fucking, I'll call you a spick. I'll call you a nigger. I'll call you a chink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pero,
I don't know if we can leave that in. Just kidding. No. Yeah.
porque yo me fijé esa vez, that's when you started seeing, and I doubt that Trump has the same ideologies as these people, but you start seeing all the trucks with the big MAGA flags scream at you. Like, I've been screamed at, especially first term. Actually, not so much this term. I
Yeah.
think things are changing this term. People are thinking about it this term.
Yeah.
First term, you'd be driving down the street, some truck fucking blows his diesel smoke in your face. But before that, he yelled at you to go back to Mexico. My neighbor's calling us spics on our fucking camera, on our security camera that we put up because they kept fucking with our fence. All that stuff. It's like they didn't have the balls to say that shit before,
Yeah.
but now they do. And why? Because they're given the balls to say that by the leadership.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think will be the changing point? I always believe in the best, right? Like I always hope for the best. What kind of changing point do you see that we need in order to be able to? I know this won't end ever, right?
That's a really hard question because it'd be easy enough. We can sit here and get completely militant and be like, assassinate the president. We're like, that's not going to cause anything. That would rile up everybody on his side. That would cause war.
Split.
I mean,
yeah.
it almost happened with a podcaster. They shoot a podcaster and people get all riled up. Ahora imagínate ese güey.
Yeah.
So it's not the president. It's not getting rid of this guy that's going to cure it. I honestly don't know what.
What do you think? What do you think we need as like, for example, me myself as a human being, right? I don't see, and I'm not going to use our own race. Let's say someone that's a different race than we are. Like I don't look at them and be like, oh, you're less than me, right?
Yeah.
As a human being, and I think that's where the religious part comes in. You know, like I've never. I mean, I have a lot of friends that are not here legally, and I've never seen them any different, right? A white person, like I don't see them any different, right? Like so, like, and maybe it's because like the fact that the religious side of me is like we're all created equally.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so hard right now for people to just think like that? Just be like a human being, you know?
That is hard. That's a hard question too, because I don't understand it either. It's like maybe they weren't lucky enough to be raised with those values, or to be raised to think for themselves. You know, I don't think anyone's raised to follow the crowd. I think that's a lack of parenting, a lack of being raised. So you don't know what to do, so I'll just do what this fool's doing.
Right.
And then the guy next to him, well, I'll do what you guys are doing. Pretty soon you got yourself a nice old-fashioned mob.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to break out of it, honestly. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
I think maybe step one is this, talking about it, sitting down and having conversations. And it started, I had a guy named Geza X. He's a music producer from back in the late 70s, early 80s, for Dead Kennedys, for Black Flag, different punk bands. And I had him and his wife on my show, and that's what we talked about is building community, having these conversations. And that's great when it's like-minded people, but we need to get more of this, where I come in here and we're not going to get upset, we're not going to get violent, but we can talk. I think step one might be that, is conversations, not just with the people you fuck with. And that's the problem with like algorithms. It's like I try to follow stuff, like I follow like Glenn Beck on Facebook and like people that I don't like and don't agree with, because I want to see what's going on that side.
Yeah.
If I just like the shit on my algorithm that I agree with, what's the point?
Right.
Now I'm just getting fed a bunch of shit that I already agree with.
Right.
Like that's not going to make me go into critical thinking mode.
Right.
Yeah, I have a unique perspective as far as that. That goes. Obviously, I'm married to a white girl. And I grew up young with my dad basically saying, "I don't want you hanging out with cholos," right? And I grew up in Blackfoot, so it was a bunch of primos that I hung out with, and some of my white friends. But when I look at Trump and so full disclosure, for both elections, I voted for Trump on both elections, and it's more because I lean Republican. And I actually want to have a conversation about this later in the podcast. So remind me, because you talk about anarchy, which is no government. I prefer the very minimal amount of government possible. So I don't think we're that far apart.
Yeah.
I don't trust.
Not that big
I don't trust either side, if I'm being 100% honest. But I'll make a point about Trump is I don't know if he's a white supremacist. I think he's a little bit racist, because I think most 70-year-old white men are. But more than anything, I think he's an equal opportunity asshole. He will be. I think he's been like the nastiest to, like, whether it's Biden or Clinton or anything like
Or
that.
Rob Reiner.
Yep. Yeah. That I'll be 100% honest, man. Like, what I will say about Trump is, like, at some point, just shut the fuck up. Because it doesn't help, like, the right. And I think that's why there's a huge divide right now along the conservatives, along the right, is because I feel like we're split a lot. Like, there's people moving to nationalism, and we can kind of talk a little bit about, like, Nick Fuentes and those guys a little bit later. And, but we talk, about, like, the religious sense, and maybe this will be controversial, but I think it's important to live in a way where you treat everyone equally. But I also think it's important to realize that, like, we're probably not all equal in a certain sense of the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's so different, and you put, and as we go talk about immigration, down the road, and I'm glad we're talking about this. It's been tricky talking about politics, because there's been times where, like, do we want to talk about it? But it gets the most views, the most, hits.
They also don't want to just do a show like that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, if last show was a serious conversation, next show we're probably just gonna fucking talk about dicks and shit.
Yeah, because you never know, like, and I think that's what I enjoy about. Sometimes we don't even know what the fuck we're gonna talk about. We talk about a lot of different things. Every time Scarface comes in, there's always gonna be some sort of sexual. We're gonna talk about sex there, but no, I think for me, as I kind of look, at least from my perspective, is like there's something happening within our nation, and it's not how do you change it, but the distrust in the government is a lot more rampant. But now, to me, it's like, how do we break our algorithm? Because you're talking about ICE, and that's hot on your profile feed right now. I still got Sabrina Carpenter and college volleyball and, like, football and stuff on my algorithm. So it's just like, it's different. Kind of what we're looking for. But I love what you said. Like, we got to have discussions and conversations with people who disagree, because the whole anarcha thing is not something that I've known about you. I've known you've been, and I hate to use the word liberal, because I think those are labels that that are kind of, we're conditioned to, like, tag people in.
That's why I said, like recently we've kind of used that word to describe us on the show, but that's, like I said, it's just because we're taking that side. But I don't think any of us are really that liberal.
Yeah,
it's Maria that's on the show, on my show a lot. She's admitted, like, she's a very conservative person, but at this moment in history, she's not going to go that route.
It's really hard to, like, obviously, like you said, the labeling, someone sees the podcast, like, oh, these guys are right, like, super right. And even with us, like we mentioned before, we're different. And just, like, a lot of things to talk about. But it's hard right now because during the election was either do you fit in this box or this box.
Yeah.
You know what? And then it's hard because, like, the icing is a huge thing because it hits home, and for us at least, right? But it's one of those things that if you're going to be fair, you got to be fair with everything, and it's hard to be like, there's always empathy for the people being detained, because, man, that could be someone in my family, right? The hard part is, like, so if you're lenient on that, you got to be lenient with all the other topics.
Exactly.
So that's where it gets really, really hard. We talk about abortion, like, that's hard, but I heard, like, Maria's story. you know. Maria is one of those cases that like it's the less than 1% that where you're like, fuck, that
And
would
the thing
screw.
is, she's very anti-abortion. Like,
Yeah.
she's not like super like go kill every baby every time you get a pregnancy. But she
Exactly.
sees the value of having it legal because of what
Exactly.
happened to her.
Exactly. And so that's like, okay, so if you're going to be, you're lenient on the immigration, you got to be lenient on that topic too.
Exactly.
So like, it's really, really hard having that conversation with someone, being like, hey man, like I am for like people staying here, right? And because it hits home. But if you're lenient on this, you got to be lenient on this subject, and this subject, like everything. Like, and so it can't be white or black. The problem is like the grays where it gets messy. And so like when you have conversations with someone that doesn't understand that, that's when you're like, oh, you're just right winged and this and that. Like, and that's the hard part. Like to try to explain to someone, he's like, you have to think outside the box, and that's the problem. We've been like programmed to be like, you got to be this or this. You can't be this and a little bit of that.
When in reality, we can and we should. Like,
Right.
you should be able to think freely about everything. Should be like individual, free of itself. Like, not because I support, because I'm pro-choice now I want to fucking murder all the kids. Like, no. Like,
Exactly.
there's a difference. There's a morality that to be had there. It's really difficult to talk to about that kind of stuff is older raza, older Mexican guys and ladies too, because they'll start talking about, pinche, nos odian por prietos y pinche racista, and then you're like, yeah, and you're agreeing with them, but then next sentence they're like, ay, los pinches negros y los jotos, and you're like, I don't know, man.
See, yeah, and that's the hard part because like, and that's in their opinion, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to agree with them. Like that's
that's how
where,
they are. They start getting all racist and homophobic, and you're like, well,
yeah. I mean, Hispanics, man, we're racist to each other.
Exactly, yeah.
You're a little darker. Ese prieto.
Yeah.
You're a little white. Ya se cree gringo. Like there's never.
When I was a kid, era decirle Oaxaca a alguien era insulto.
Yeah.
Then you grow up and you're like, wait a minute, that's not right. Like, what the fuck?
Like even where my dad's from Hidalgo, like you tell them like, oh, it is decir papán, like they take it as an insult, right?
Yeah.
Like even though they're not from there, like the same state. You're talking about the same people in your state. That's like saying someone from Boise. You're from Boise. You're like, fuck, no, I'm not from there. Like, so it gets hard, like, because I feel like it gets embedded to you. Like I remember my parents like always listening to Univision and always getting fed like, Democrat, you're a Democrat, you're a Democrat, and my parents always like, oh yeah,
But they don't know why. Or...
Exactly. There's no reason in why. And I actually mentioned this to Elias a couple episodes ago. I don't know where like after like Charlie Kirk got assassinated. My mom brought him up to me, and I never had mentioned anything. And he's like, "Oh, viste el muchacho que mataron ahí in Utah?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, yo vi esos videos," and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, and she would tell me, she's like, I don't agree with everything he would say, but a lot of times it made sense because apparently she would watch these full videos, like she wouldn't watch the clips, and she's like,
yeah, she had the time,
and so like like this is my parents that lived off of Univision and like just. And she's talking about some of the things that he mentioned, and like it's just an eye opener that like now our parents, like my parents are in early 50s, so you're like they're listening to this. It took them so many years to like finally be able to listen to people and form their own opinion. That's where like I'm trying to get to the point. Like
we're missing as a society empathy and ability to understand. Like if somebody believes something different than we do, we almost take it as a personal attack, and then we no longer know how to like validate or fully understand. Because I get both sides of the aisle, you know what I mean? And that's the thing about myself. Like when we do talk about immigration, like I can see why and what's happening now. It doesn't mean that I like it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know like, and there is truth to the fact that like Dems, Biden, they are trying to affect the census and the votes, and they're almost weaponizing immigration, right? Republicans came out, and Trump, secure our borders, we're going to get the worst of the worst out, and that's not actually happening. They're taking, people. Now, I understand the argument they're here illegally, you know what I mean? I still believe there's due process. I think the Constitution says a person, doesn't say illegal U.S. resident, but it puts us in a situation where, and to me, the news is going to cover those things because for the longest time, I think the news is complicit when we looked at what was it, Doge, when they were kind of cutting some of the costs. Some of the costs were like, a few million over here for like TV, and like basically we're trying to like use propaganda to other countries to show that we're the good guys and all these other things. So I think to me it's just interesting because what's a conservative Spanish news station that you guys know?
Conservative? Damn.
Right?
Univision went that way.
A little bit.
But it was
Telemundo's
very,
definitely not.
but so it's just like you get that with like American TV, and it's just like you can just say right now like what's the conservative channels, what's the liberal, what's the central, and it's just kind of like it's just nuts how. And now it's the algorithms that are fucking with us, and now it's becoming more intense because I don't know if you were on message boards way back in the day, talking on chat on Yahoo with random people talking smack. Like when you're a keyboard warrior, like people are gonna say whatever, and now it's starting to get scary because now, I mean, whether it's Rob Reiner or Charlie Kirk, like people are unaliving other people over, them exercising freedom of speech, and I believe it's important whether it's hateful or not. It's just like damn, like people are getting killed, and I hated Trump's comment. Like it kind of turned into. Mentioned Trump derangent syndrome with Rob Reiner, and it's like, dude, someone just got murdered. Like, put the politics down, put the ego down, and like realize that we have a serious problem here.
The root of news sources being taken aside is capitalism.
Yeah.
Because back when newspapers and other periodicals, they depended on our subscriptions.
Yeah.
You paid, and so the people are paying, so we're going to tell the truth. But now suddenly people aren't paying for it, but we still need to get that out. We still got these people to pay on our payroll. So we'll get a sponsor. Okay, this sponsor will only give us money as long as we don't talk shit on that guy or on the left or the right. Mm-hmm. And so pretty soon you got sponsored news, and that has to lean a certain way or else they don't survive.
Yeah.
So capitalism definitely killed the news.
I 100% agree. And capitalism, and I am participating in the game, right? Because you're at the end of the day. Oh, we got Rice here. Just woke up.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning.
Hello.
Yeah, there you go.
But
we're here with our guest Ivory.
yeah.
Guess what I brought us, you guys?
Buzzballs.
Buzzballs?
No.
Oh.
Damn.
I brought us Cheetos.
Oh shit. Are they just regular colored?
Yeah, but I brought both so we can try.
Oh, those are the ones that
I don't know
have
if I can do the regular
fruit
color,
Yeah.
but that goes back to even this stuff. Like in capitalism, like capitalism is killing our citizens, whether it's medicine, whether
because they
it's
sell better when you put coloring in it. And
yeah,
shit.
you know
Hold
what I
up,
mean?
is that a
So-
brand new Buzzball? Y'all been drinking it?
No,
That's
it's
the old one?
It's drinking it
Ya
the
que ya me lo
fermented.
tenía aquí, John.
Yeah,
He's like,
You
"All
don't
right."
want to drink that. That's hella
Apenas te iba a invitar un
fermented.
trago. Have a drink.
and that's I think that's the crazy thing. I think
Grossed out by my mom.
that a lot of us have to kind of that a lot of us have to think about is just like we're in a capitalist society. We know the fucked up aspects of it, but also like, do we play the game
That's
and
the
try to
thing.
win it, or
That's the choice to make, and I don't criticize you or anybody else. My friend Luis Lopez is very much a capitalist, and it's like I can see why you want to be a capitalist. You want to be on top of that game. It's just not for me.
Yeah. For me, I feel like that's the one game where, and people would disagree, but
I think
at
I'm
that-
smart enough to play it if I wanted
Yeah,
to. But
I think
"Ah."
that's an arena where maybe your race don't matter, or maybe your privilege don't matter. It could maybe affect it, but that's a way for you to come in and say, because what I think the real issue is, where a lot of us forget, I don't think it's no longer racial. I think it's now like wealth and class, right?
That's very
and
true.
poverty. There are poor white people in this world that have the same struggles
The
that
people that are racist are poor people. Y a los que están ricos les conviene that those poor white people continue to be racist, because then they focus on the race instead of the class. They don't realize that they're the underdogs.
Yeah.
When I lived here in Idaho Falls, when I was still married, our neighbors had the MAGA flag. They call us Spics.
yeah.
Guess what? We live in the same neighborhood. You know what that means?
Yeah.
We're in the same fucking class.
Yeah, and that's how they divide it. That's
If
how
we
they
make the
divide
same amount
us.
of money, we can afford the
Yeah.
same houses.
'Cause,
So
yeah.
you don't realize that the problem isn't that I'm fucking brown and you're white. The problem is that we're both in this shitty neighborhood.
Yeah, and when you're in the same class, it's important to have y'all divided to make you think that,
Exactly.
hey, that white dude hates you, but also, hey, that Mexican is the reason you're where you're at.
If we could be like, you know what? Why are we living in this shitty neighborhood?
Yeah.
We could hopefully level up and
Yeah.
go against the classism.
Yeah. I think, I don't remember what president said, a house divided cannot stand.
No, Abraham,
They got us divided as hell,
maybe.
possibly. Yeah. So Abe was actually one of my favorite presidents that we've
Oh, not this one?
Yeah, this one. No, he's
That's what I was gonna ask you.
he's my Theo.
So you start talking about like the raids, the ICE raids, the way people are getting treated, the way U.S. citizens are being treated during the ICE raids because they're brown,
Yeah.
etc. When you see that stuff and you don't agree with which really warms my heart to hear that you don't like that stuff. What does that make you regret your vote at all?
Have you regretted your vote at all in the last year?
I think for me, it's hard to say I regret my vote because when you go into the voting booth, and I voted for, I think it was Bush, Obama, twice, Trump. I think you go in there and you vote for who you think is the better one out of the two. I felt like this last term, I felt like the Democrats fucked it up. Like Biden should have never even tried to rerun, and they should have let a Democrat come up in the right way. I've said this before, I wish the Democrats had a candidate like a Trump that was just like, fuck the establishment. Here's how I'm going to go. There are a lot of things the second term that I don't agree with what Trump has done, but I was the same way with Obama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do I
Did you regret your vote with Obama though?
in moments, yeah. Towards the second term,
So
it
you
started
did regret your vote with Obama, but you haven't regretted your vote with Trump.
with Trump. I wouldn't call it regret. I don't even know if I don't know if regret is the right word. I think I just felt like I didn't get what I was hoping for when I voted for Obama. I think with Trump right now, and it's still year one, the raids and the shit do suck. I think there's aspects of what he's doing that I am liking, but I also am starting to feel like, and this is maybe a topic we can talk about, later in the podcast, but I'm starting to think that Israel is starting to have a very strong influence on what Trump wanted to do versus what he's actually doing. Yeah. And I think that's why the conservatives are split. So if I could take what I said back about, do I regret voting for Obama? No, I just don't think it was all that in a bag of chips. And I think as an adult, you start to feel that way. Like, fuck.
That's going to be every president.
Yeah.
Like even if Kamala had won, we'd be like, well, she still ain't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be 100%.
Yeah. I don't like that we're not just taking out the criminals and like the dangerous people. But to me, it goes back to we've been fucking having this immigration debate since the 80s. It's a debate. It's not an issue they want to fix because
they're like the pharmacies. They don't want to cure the.
Yeah.
What are they going to run on? If they fix the immigration problem, what are they going to run on?
Yeah. And to me, the fix is simple, right? Like within a 6-month period, someone should be vetted and allowed in if they're from specific countries. And to me, I would give priorities to Mexico and Canada first.
Just because they're neighbors.
Just their neighbors. And then, anything below that, if it takes time, it's fine. But there's someone that I just finished selling a house to that was 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Canadian illegal immigrants aren't having that much of a problem. Right
Yeah.
now. I wonder why.
Yeah. Yeah.
¿Será por el color?
Yeah.
Nah. My parents
It's
are
kind of
white.
like I have a friend.
Skinned, white, light
I
skin.
have a friend that their sibling is married to someone from Europe, and they brought the spouse over, and they applied for the visa, but the visa expired or something. So this person had to have left to go to their country, kind of like Mexicans do the whole Juarez thing, but they were like, I'll be fine. Why? Because they're white.
Yeah.
So it's like they're not going to be targeted during these times, people are just going to look at them and be like, oh, they're just another white person.
Yeah.
So that should already tell you how privileged anyone with light skin feels already.
And that's why I hadn't even thought of that until we were doing the protests earlier in the year, almost a year ago. And a white lady came up to us and she's like, I support you guys 100%. And then she's like, I'm Canadian. I'm not here legally. Mm-hmm. And we're like,
yeah.
At least they know that they have that privilege. Because if I had that privilege, I'd milk it too. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you think it comes? Like, okay, how do I word this? I'm gonna use the example of my parents. and I'll use it in the example of people that I know. How do you, in my eyes, I remember when my dad was getting his citizenship, and when he was working towards like no English and trying to learn the test and busting his. I remember him staying up late at night trying to save up for the test, and just the whole thing of going to Boise and passing his test, and then the hardships they went in order to become citizens, right?
Yeah.
Like the amount of work went in there. Now, different scenario. And we didn't have money. Like we lived in a trailer in Ryrie, right? Limited. My dad worked on the farm, and I remember times that like I only had 4 or 5 shirts, and that was it, right? So the hardship was there. I can't say that we didn't have
Did you
anything.
see it as hardship at the time, just to veer for a little bit?
It was just for the time, because we
At
didn't
the
have
time.
family. We didn't have family. We didn't have no support in that sense. But all I saw is my parents busting their ass,
Because
right?
to me, like, I had the same thing. Like, I remember, like, elementary school having my 5 outfits for Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and now looking back, and I thought that was normal. But now looking back, I'm like, my kid has a shit ton more clothes.
Yeah,
than
yeah,
that.
no, like in the moment, I don't think I ever thought like, oh, boo-hoo me, right?
Yeah, like, I never
But-
felt underprivileged.
Right.
But looking back, you're kind of like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and so like now looking back, but now using that same scenario, and having someone to date that has been here the same time as my parents, and they don't have anything in works, and now they're crying, being like, oh, why am I gonna get deported? Why should I get deported? I'm using that example because I don't ever want to like let my parents' hard work and
Yeah.
struggle and work to be able to become citizen, and then someone that's been here the longest. This is where I play devil's advocate, right? The empathy, because my parents busted their ass.
So you think if someone that doesn't have a lot, they've been here for a while, but they haven't accumulated anything, they haven't leveled up, maybe they should be deported?
No, it's not materialistic. It's about I'm talking about opportunity cost, right?
What is it he'll level
Like-
up? Just like having,
Yeah, like what do you mean
Something
by
in their
level
life.
up?
I'm talking about as in
looking
like
at-
you talk about, oh well, maybe a few things that come to mind is like, oh, if you take the same example, these people have been here as long as my parents have, but the difference is my parents are U.S. citizens and they're not, right? And now the person that's not U.S. citizen is being like, oh well, why am I going to get deported? Why do I deserve if I've been here really long? The opportunity was presented to both, right? Even my parents didn't have any family, they didn't know English. We didn't have a lot of money.
So what you're
Like,
saying is like,
it's-
si ellos pudieron, porque tú no pudiste, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Well-
like,
And
well,
and
it's
you
not
feel
even
like, they should be kicked out because
no,
of
no,
that?
no. I'm talking about why is their hard work? Why wouldn't their hard work?
But how do you know that they didn't
It's because
put in?
this is where the devil's advocate. We're using the same scenario, because if we
Well,
look at different cases,
The way I look at that is, what do you mean then? What should we do with the white homeless guy asking for money outside of Walmart?
right? And
They had the same opportunities as me, if not more.
If not more, yeah.
And
exactly. This is
so
what I'm talking about. It's
should we
really
deport them? What should we do with the homeless people?
no. That what I'm asking is,
They're people. man.
I'm asking is why, when it comes to like we shouldn't deport anybody, or like why is that person that doesn't have had the same opportunities
Es que
like
te valga madre, güey. It doesn't matter why things
Yeah.
happen.
right? But what I'm saying
A mí me
is
vale madre why that dude's asking for money. If I got
Right.
money, I'll give him to him. One time I didn't, because one time I finally got paid a little extra. Back when I was working at Golden Valley over here, I
Right.
fucking hated that place. It was such low pay and it was just shitty hours.
Yeah.
But I got a little slightly bigger than normal paycheck, so I bought myself some cigarettes. And it'd been months. Everybody thinks I quit smoking because I'm like health
You're
concerned.
like, I'm just
like, I
broke.
just can't afford them. I would
Yeah.
smoke like a chimney if I could. And so I'm going down 17th Street smoking my cigarette. Chingon yo. Guy on the street, hey buddy, you got to smoke? And I'm like, fuck you, fool. Like,
right.
the first smoke I've had in months. Y no le di. Pero no me puse a decirle, why can't you afford a cigarette? Fuckface.
Well, it's I don't feel like I'm trying to explain myself. What I'm saying is
I just think we got to get out of that mentality of why did they and I didn't, or why could I and you couldn't? Que cada cabeza es un mundo, cada vida es
right,
un...
right. But if you talk about like trying to be fair, right?
Yeah,
Like,
life is
si tú no, and I get it, I get that. But I'm talking about this is where it gets tricky, because if you're trying to do a blanket, right?
Yeah.
You don't you came here legally, you're out. But if you did everything, like that person that's crying, you're like, oh, well, I've been here so long, but I haven't done anything. I don't deserve to get kicked out. How do you explain that? Like, how is that does that fall into should they get out or should they have
I
a
guess kind
opportunity?
of the way that I'm understanding what you're saying is like this person, so we'll say like subject B, right? They never submitted application. They never did anything. They were just here and nunca hicieron el trámite, nada.
But now they're upset because these laws. They're like, now someone's enforcing it. Like, you got to get out, right? They're crying wolf, but subject A is someone like my parents that even when the situation was not in their favor, they figured it out. So that didn't happen to them. How are you fair with everybody? What you say, you're right. You can't be fair with everybody. But that's where the empathy comes in. Like, do we let this person that didn't do anything?
There's so many variables here, though. There isn't just one clean cut.
Lo que nos prometieron fue que iban a sacar los criminales. And when I think criminal, I think like not he had a
rapists,
DUI,
murderers.
not like I think rapists, murderers, like people that are career criminals. Let's get rid of those people.
I would deport a DUI guy.
You'd report a DUI guy?
I would deport him.
See, and I feel this all falls in the blanket. Do we if we were going to deport the rapist, which I agree, and you say we should report the DUI, then do we deport the person that also had the opportunity to, and maybe they didn't have the opportunity? Do we deport them? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get the...
That's the other thing. I mean, and we could spend hours talking about, like, the criminal justice system. It's like, you deported DUI. What if that DUI was, like, 9 years ago? You learned from your lesson. You paid your debt to society. What's the point of paying your debt to society if you're still going to be a fuckface, loser, lowlife afterwards? You know what I mean?
I'm talking about someone if they got pulled over today. And I always go back to a story of...
Okay, so if they're drunk driving right now and they're illegally in this country...
Send them back.
Isn't that what that's what they always used to do before? Anyway?
Yeah.
Well, that's even the thing. Like, my uncles talk about the 90s. Like, they would run from immigration. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard because, and this is where I go back to talking about, like, friends. Like, you sound like a piece of shit because you're like, well, like, it's hard because if we give that person that hasn't done anything and he gets deported and the media's covering that, like, oh, well, we're pieces of shit because we deported. But what about the rapist guy? Nobody's talking about that. Like, that's what I'm talking about. It's hard to stand on my point. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he's conservative, he's a right wing, but like...
So maybe we do need to work on harsher laws on sex offenders. Harsher laws on our criminals before we can start worrying about criminals from other countries.
You know what? And that's another point. Absolutely, right? Like, I feel like... I hope 100% of people agree with that standpoint, right? Because you hear about some fucked up things, even on the news, and the guy's out, right? So, yes, I agree that 100%.
I'm a felon. You know, I jacked shit from a giant corporation, JCPenney. And when I got convicted, I got 14 days in county and 4 years on probation, on felony probation. A week later on the news, a guy that raped an underage girl. Guess what he got?
Probably not that.
4 years on felony probation and a couple weeks in county. I'm like, you're telling me what he did to a little girl, ruined somebody's life, is the same as what I did? I'm not saying what I did was right. I'm just saying I didn't rape anybody.
Yeah.
And that always gets people talking about, like, it's not about being pro-life when you think about that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not about the babies. It's not about children.
It's about the bottom line.
Yeah. I do want to go back a few minutes into the timeline here, and I want to kind of address, like, the border situation, which is cool, the white Canadian lady, you know. So I know that, like, the northern border, we get more, like, terrorists that come in from the north side.
Would.
You know, there's just a lot more people coming from the southern border, and it sucks that they do have to racially profile people, right? Because we're brown. Any of us in this room at any time could get pulled over. They could ask
not
for
me, I'm white.
they could ask for a paper.
God damn.
Jesus Christ, man.
In sunburn.
But you know,
está pinca acá porque acaba de llegar de Guatemala.
For real, dude.
you know that is true, man. You just got back from the south, and you're whiter than you were when you left.
You didn't wear like tank tops in Guatemala? That's what I would have done. I hate the fucking farmer town. Like in the summer,
like
I've never worn
80 some degrees.
So here's my point as far as, like, the racial profiling goes, whether brown versus the white Canadian lady that might never get asked for her papers, is like, and it kind of reminds me of, would you rather be in the forest with a bear or a man? You know, would you, like, if your life depended on it and somebody was like, all right, dude, you gotta MMA fight someone in this room or you're going to get blasted, who out of the three would you choose?
Are you asking us, like, would we choose the white person versus the brown person?
No, like I'm asking Rod, like if you had to, like, let's say arm wrestle one of the three to still live after this podcast, who would you arm wrestle to secure your life?
John.
You'd arm wrestle John? Would that be your choice? Or
To save my life, and we're going to act like I care about my life. I see your point. Like, I
Yeah.
would choose Reese because I assume she's the weakest because she's a woman.
yeah, and I think, and that doesn't mean you're sexist or misogynist, you know, and that doesn't mean you hate men or love bears. Maybe you hate men. So, but what I'm saying is, like, I can see why, and it sucks because even the ICE people, I try to think of them as like, fuck, they're just probably doing their job, you know. And I think there are people that have quit. There are a lot of people that are quitting ICE.
Nazis just doing their
But-
Oh,
job.
I know. I'm like looking at you. You looking at me. I'm like,
But
this.
don't you think that's what they're doing? Like a police
Pero
officer,
están
a
deteniendo
teacher.
gente por prietos, not because you were speeding, not because you were doing
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, no,
illegal.
I get that. I
And
get
then they're
that.
following people to their homes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they're doing too much extra that
Yeah.
gets you thinking that they're not just doing their job.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, because of the
And
color
who
of
are
our skin.
who are they hiring for these positions? You know, like, are they hiring these, like, a white racist man that's going to have his own?
With no training.
Yeah.
With no
Yeah.
police
Yeah.
training.
Yeah.
We had the girl that got on our show. The last episode we've had on our show is she was the one that got pointed at by an ICE agent and said they were going to blow her fucking head off.
Yeah,
It's like, obviously those people have no policing skills.
yeah.
It's like,
Well,
do
even,
we hire highly skilled officers or do we hire just some guy that hates fucking spics?
I don't know if they're highly skilled at all. Even some police officers we've seen.
wouldn't you think
in the
that
heat of
they-
the moment?
I would think that we would want some highly skilled professionals in those positions and people that aren't just gonna go after,
Yeah.
you know.
But I think what I'm saying is, I think the reason they're going after brown people is because the odds of someone being illegal, it's a higher percentage of them that they're gonna be
Is
brown.
it though?
I would think so.
I
That-
remember one time we were in Winco and these white people were speaking like Russian or something.
Yeah.
They were like, Trotsky. And my brother was like, you know, because usually here we either hear English or Spanish, and so we usually can understand every conversation around us. And my younger brother was like, no les entiendo. I was like, fucking tell them this is America. They need to speak Spanish. And I was like,
Yeah.
you see a lot of white. You have no idea how many white freaking immigrants there are here.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think-
know if they're legally, and you know what? I don't give a fuck. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I-
ICE should care if they're legal or not.
Yeah.
But they're not checking them.
And I don't know what like protocols or processes they have to go after or arrest people, you know. But what I'm saying is, I think the odds of an illegal person, you know, being
Well, that's the thing.
colored,
They don't have a protocol. They don't tell them focus on the prietos.
Yeah.
They just do it themselves.
Yeah, well, I think now they can though. I think like that's
Oh, yeah,
something
yeah.
that I think now they can almost basically
still haven't reversed your
racially profile.
Trump said that's okay, and you're cool.
I wouldn't see. I think Democrats are the opposite of anarchy. They want full government.
Oh, I hate
they
the
want all
Democrats, too.
government. So for
I said I
me,
hated Obama.
yeah. So for me, it's like as a Republican, that gives me a little bit more hope that we're trying to lower the government's reach and going
Like I
back
said,
to
they're
the
all
states.
scumbags, man. I mean, that's
Yeah.
why on my show we can joke about the dirtiest things ever, because when I was in third grade, I learned what a cum stain was because of Bill Clinton.
Yeah,
Kids, 10 years ago grabbed them by the pussy by Trump.
yeah,
So it's like they're all dirty pieces of shit.
yeah,
So why can't I be a dirty piece of shit? At least I'm not president.
yeah. You can. That's the beauty.
I can run for president.
Yeah.
And I am running for president.
Yeah,
Apparently,
Yeah.
you can.
yeah. So
Can't
Am I-
vote, but
how many guests have you guys had on here? Just me and Edgar and
Marcus and Noel.
And
Marcus,
Kosa,
right.
Nelden. But
Belinda.
the audio was
Oh,
fucked because they
Carla,
shared one of
Belinda.
those.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
had a few.
a few.
Yeah.
It's
You're not as guest based as my show is.
no because
Which
the
is good.
time
I like
the
that.
time we film it's hard, like 9 in
Yeah,
the morning.
This is the earliest I've ever podcasted.
For real,
This is fucking
dude.
insane,
It's because it
man.
gets the blood flowing. You get to like this is the first thing you hit running in the day.
So here's my question: do y'all have time to go a little later?
We'll go long as shit.
'Cause-
I'm used to
Take the day off.
3-hour podcasts.
So question is, do we end this
You wanna
one
do a
and start
part
a
two
new
or what?
one, and then really dive into? Because I think it would be cool to like kind
If
of
you
dive
guys have
into.
time, we can do part 2. We can
yeah,
go
we
long,
could
whatever
go
you guys
for
want.
like max
So join us for part
Them
2.
yes,
45
sis.
minutes.
Because I think it would be cool to like
Guys, I want to touch
maybe-
it on your guests too.
maybe
Yeah.
focus on something that's a little bit more
Fruity.
back and forth, and then like now that you finally showed up, because I think you mentioned that we kind of gang up on Ivory East, but I think it would be cool to have like just
Gang up on them?
conversations. Yeah. Well, no, and really for me, it's just like I want to be able to like show people that like, because like you and I have a lot of disagreements, not just politics, but like I joke that like we're like
Show
brother
the people
sister.
your
You know
shoes.
what I mean? Oh fuck.
I give her so much shit.
that's
My
another
niece
one.
has the same ones.
Yeah.
They
So
look warm as hell.
Oh,
Yours
they're
are
comfy.
snakeskin sambas. Is that what that is? I was looking at those
damn.
before. That's
Son de
badass.
pitón.
yeah, shit. But
De pito.
no, I just don't know if it's better to just go full 2
They're
hours
forced.
on one.
We
or
could just split it. We could right now. I'll
They
split
made her
it.
shoes out of foreskins. kid.
foreskins. Damn.
You've never heard snakes have been called that?
Yeah, let
Sí,
me
pero
Damn.
I've heard me be.
let me
called.
let me swap batteries. So we'll end this one.
All right, guys. Stay tuned for the second episode. It's about to get heated. Right? Yeah, it's about to
Yeah,
get
because
heated.
we're gonna have hot Cheetos.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about Ivory East's foreskin shoes. So I'm excited for those. That's a lot of Jew
I'd rather
skin
wear
on her
these than
shoes.
yours. Hell
Yeah. These are super comfortable. I ain't gonna lie. You need to try them on.
no. No
But-
thanks.
Yo y John somos de la misma camada. Just
All right, guys.
I mean,
thank you for
I got-
watching. We'll be back.
All right, see you guys.
Give it to me